You're about to see 3 cars that most people walk right past, without realizing they just ignored something that could save them tens of thousands of dollars. And here's the crazy part. One of these cars has been proven to go over 300,000 miles with almost no major failures. Another one literally ranked #1 in dependability across every vehicle tested. Not just sedans, everything. And the last one, this one shocks people the most, because almost nobody believes it's actually reliable until they see the data. But the biggest mistake people make when buying a used car isn't choosing the wrong car. It's trusting brand reputation instead of reality. Because what most people think is reliable is often overpriced. And what they ignore, that's where the real value is hiding. I've seen it over and over again. People walk into a dealership, immediately go toward Honda, Toyota, maybe Lexus. And don't get me wrong, those are great cars. But because everyone wants them, they end up paying thousands more than they need to. Meanwhile, sitting just a few rows away, are cars that last just as long, cost way less, and somehow nobody is paying attention. So today, I'm going to show you 3 sedans that mechanics quietly respect, but buyers completely ignore. And trust me, number 1 is going to change the way you think about reliable cars. Let's start with the first one. This is the kind of car people underestimate because of its badge, not because of what it actually delivers. We're talking about a sedan that has quietly become one of the smartest used car buys in the entire market. A car that balances reliability, fuel economy, and driving experience better than almost anything else in its price range. And yet, it's still cheaper than most of its competitors. This is the kind of car you buy when you want something that just works. Without draining your wallet every time something needs fixing, under the hood, it uses a naturally aspirated engine, no complicated turbo systems, no unnecessary stress, just simple engineering that's built to last. And that matters more than people realize. Because when you remove complexity, you remove failure points. That's one of the biggest reasons why this car consistently reaches high mileage without major issues. We're talking 200,000, 250,000, even pushing toward 300,000 miles with proper maintenance. So when things do need fixing, they're affordable, not luxury car, expensive, not dealer-only nightmare, just normal, predictable maintenance. And here's something most people don't expect. It actually feels good to drive. Smooth steering, solid handling, comfortable interior. It doesn't feel like a cheap car, even though it's priced like one. But because it doesn't have the same brand hype as Honda or Toyota, it depreciates more. And that's exactly why it becomes such a great deal for smart buyers. Now, if you think that's good, the next car is on a completely different level. This is the one people buy when they're tired of worrying about their car breaking down. This is the car you buy when you just want something that refuses to die. And I mean that literally. There are real-world cases of this car going well, past 300,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance, oil changes, brake replacements, basic upkeep. That's it. No catastrophic failures. No constant repairs, no stress. And what makes this even crazier? This car actually ranked #1 in a major dependability study. Not #1 in its class, #1 overall. Beating everything else on the road. Now think about that for a second. A car that reliable should be expensive, right? But it's not, because it doesn't have the flashy image people chase. It's not trying to be sporty, it's not trying to impress your neighbors, it's just built to last. And because of that, people overlook it, which is exactly why it becomes such a smart buy. Under the hood, you're getting an engine that has been refined over years and years, proven, tested, reliable in the real world, not just on paper. And when maintained properly, it just keeps going. Transmission, solid. Engine, bulletproof. Overall ownership experience, about as stress-free as it gets. This is the kind of car where you stop thinking about repairs, because there just aren't many. And if your goal is long-term ownership, this is one of the safest bets you can make. But now, we get to the car that surprises almost everyone. This is the one people argue about, the one people don't believe in, the one that completely breaks expectations. Because if you asked most people about this brand, they'd probably laugh. They'd say it's outdated. They'd say it's not reliable. They'd say it's not worth it. But the data tells a completely different story. This car competes with luxury sedans that cost 2, sometimes 3 times as much. And yet, today, you can buy it for a fraction of that price. And here's the shocking part. In some reliability rankings, this brand actually outperforms Toyota and Honda. Yos, you heard that right, but almost nobody knows it because people don't update their opinions. They're still thinking about what this brand was 10 or 15 years ago, not what it is today. And that creates one of the biggest opportunities in the used car market. Because when perception doesn't match reality, prices drop. And that's where smart buyers win. Inside this car, you get something that feels genuinely premium. Quiet cabin, comfortable ride, high-end features. It doesn't feel like a cheap car. It feels like something that used to cost way more because it did, but depreciation hit it hard. And now, it's sitting in that sweet spot where luxury meets affordability. And unlike European luxury cars, this one doesn't come with insane repair bills. Parts are accessible, repairs are manageable, ownership is realistic, and that's a huge difference. Because there's nothing worse than buying a cheap luxury car that becomes expensive the moment something breaks. This isn't that. This is controlled, predictable, smart ownership. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The best car isn't always the one everyone recommends. It's the one that gives you the most value for your money. And value doesn't come from a badge. It comes from reliability, from ownership costs, from how long the car actually lasts. And the people who understand that, they're the ones who spend less, stress less, and get more out of their cars. So next time you're looking at used cars, don't just follow the crowd, because the crowd is usually overpaying. Instead, look for what people are ignoring. Look for what's been proven. Look at the data, because the smartest car buyers aren't buying what's popular, they're buying what actually works. And now I want to hear from you. Which one of these cars would you actually buy? Or do you think there's an even better hidden gem out there? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to avoid the biggest mistakes people make when buying used cars, make sure you subscribe, because the next video might save you thousands.